So shooters and reloaders out there, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the hot lead zone. And this is what happened at the range today, shooting this bullet. It's the Lee 459 500 grain bullet cast with 16-1 alloy. So it's fairly soft at BHN 10. And we shot it as sized and cast in the lubricizer and also powder coated. So here we are at the range and we have our chronograph set up ready to start testing. But here is something very interesting. Shooting the Lee 459 500 grain bullet, and this is traditionally lubed and sized to 458, no powder coat. And that was 45 grains of 2200 powder. And it gave us a group that hit here, and one round hit there, and one round keyholed out there. Another round went down here, partial keyhole, and the fifth round was all the way over here. So just imagine that you've got a 458 Winchester Magnum loaded with a plain cast lead bullet sized to 458. Now, it's quite possible that this would shoot a lot better if they were sized at 460. But for now, you see how bad that group is, and keyholing will give you that. Now, if I shot a lot more of those, we'd have a badly leaded barrel. Now, in case you're wondering, that load of 2200 powder at 45 grains gave us 1616 feet per second velocity, and the standard deviation at the muzzle was only 17. So even though it had the lowest standard of deviation of the loads we shot today, the group was horrible because of the keyholing. And very interesting, one of the empty cases had a smudge right there on the belt. Now whenever you get powder smudging at the head of a cartridge and there's no smudging on the body of the case, you have to suspect that there is a crack and either an early or a partial head separation going on. So I looked very carefully and there's a little crack in that brass right there. Now there was more powder on that head But the first thing I did when I saw that was I wiped some of it off just to see if I could see the crack. But that is a beginning head separation, and especially if you see this on your 223 or 5.56 brass, that's a head separation going on. A partial head separation. We don't want that. So this case is going to go in the garbage. Might be a defective case. But here's a real interesting thing today, and that is this same bullet, powder coated, same powder charge of 45 grains of 2200 powder. This exact load fired 5 shots and it went into this group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 1.472 inch group and no keyholes. And the only difference is that this bullet's powder coated and the other one wasn't. So that's a very interesting notation there. I like this load for this bullet. But the raw bullet is either going to need to have a bigger size at 460 or not used. Incidentally, this is sized to .458, just like all the rest of the loads today. Powder coated, sized to 458, and it shoots this group when the non-powder coat just was all over the paper. So that's very interesting. This is actually a good load that I could go ahead and tweak either way. So the powder coated bullets on the right have good utility in the 458 Winchester Magnum already. And the bullets on the left still have good utility for loading in my 4570. We'll see how it does in that.